Alright, today we're going to work on proportions in triangles. So if you look at this first triangle, one of these triangles, we know everything. So I know this triangle right here, I have all our measurements. Let's do that in a different color. This triangle right here, I have all my measurements. So I need to find the x and the y. So if I look at this, if I do this triangle down here, I know the 4 and the x there. So if I look at this, if I did 4 over 6, I would then do x over 4. So x times 6 would be 6x, 4 times 4 is 16, so x would equal 16 over 6, reduce that, it would be 8 over 3. Now I want to find y, so I could start the same way. I could have 4 over 8 this time equals, right, that wouldn't be the same side, sorry, correct that. I would do 6 over 8 this time. Equals 4 over y, cross multiply, 8 times 4 is 32, equals 6y, divide by 6, you get y equals 32 over 6. You can divide both those by 2, which would be 16 over 3. So y would equal 16 over 3. Alright, now we got another triangle, and we know that we had a line going through that triangle, and the bottom of that triangle are parallel. So we can set up a proportion with this of x over x plus 5 equals x minus 1 over x plus 2. So now we've got to cross multiply to solve our proportion. X times x would be x squared plus 2x. And that equals x times x is x squared. 5 times 1 is negative 5, so we're going to have a minus 5 there. And then we have x times 5 is 5x. X times negative 1 is negative 1x, so 5x minus 1x would give us 4x. So you got x squared plus 4x minus 5 equals x squared plus 2x. So I can subtract the 2x from both sides. Actually, I'm going to subtract the 4x from both sides. I don't normally like doing it this way, but I'm going to do it. And I can subtract the x squared from both sides. So the x squareds are going to cancel. So these cancel. So I'm left with negative 5 equals, those cancel. 2 minus 4 would be negative 2x. I'm going to divide that by negative 5. Oh, sorry, negative 2. Do that backwards. So negative divided by negative is a positive, so that would be 5 over 2 equals x. So you're just creating a proportion there of that side and that side versus this side and this side. Alright, so now we got two lines there. Let's call them x and y. They are not parallel, but the lines between them are all parallel. If those are parallel, then you can start making proportions. You could say a over d equals b over e, which also equals c over f. So if I was to put some numbers here, let's say this is 20 and this is 22, and I knew c was let's do f. Let's say f is 26. So I just use those proportions that I set up there. and solve this. So I know A over D would be 20 over 22, and that's going to equal C over F, which is 26. So now I've got my proportion, and I'm just going to cross multiply and divide. So I do 20 times 26, which equals 520. And 22 times C would be 22C. So I'm going to do 520 divided by 22. And that would equal, we can reduce it would be 260 over 11. If you wanted the mixed number there, it would be 11 will go in there 23 times with 7 left over. So it would be 23 and 7/11. Alright, next we have an angle that's bisected, and we created a triangle with that, and we know one of those sides is 5 and one is x, and so we can make a proportion out of that, and the proportion would be the 5 over x would equal 15 over 12. So we cross multiply. 15 times x is 15x, 5 times 12 equals 60, divide by 15, x equals 4. Alright, so we got another triangle here, not drawn to scale, but one of the angles is bisected, and the sides that correspond to that would be 5 and 4. So our ratio there is 5 over 4. Now if we put letters on here, let's say this is A, B, C, and D, then it would be, to finish our ratio here, AB over AD. And if we know one of those sides equals 8, but we don't know which side. So what we do is we put that 8 into the proportion and solve it twice. We're going to solve it with 8 on top and then 8 on bottom to see what the two possibilities are. So if we work that out, 5 over 4 equals 8 over, we'll just call it x. So 8 times 4 is 32. And 5 times x is 5x. Divide by 5. And x equals, 5 will go in there 6 times with 2 left over. So 6 and 2/5 is one answer. Our second answer, we do the same ratio just about, except instead of putting 8 over x, we're going to put x over 8. So cross multiply, we get 40. 4 times x is 4x. Divide by 4. And x equals 10. So x is either equal to 6 and 2/5 or 10, depending on which side is that 8. And because you're not told, you have to do it twice and figure out both answers.